look different from your photographs.
Are you disappointed?
Ambivalent. Merely recalibrating expectations. There.
I guess you do this a lot.
Actually, it is my first time.
Really now? You don't say.
Affirmative. I have difficulty connecting with people. Some of my coworkers have been razzing me about it.
Tell me about your co-workers.
Nice, GR. Real subtle.
Are you ready to order?
Full disclosure, I do not eat.
I do. However, I can only consume a specially formulated enzyme paste.
So,
Yes. Let us go somewhere else.
So, hi. Welcome to Venture Bros Podcast. With me, your host, is always Bryan Dressl. With me, as always, is Nick, the human eraser Friedemann.
Wait, what? Who is that? Is this a murderer? Did you do nicknames for serial killers?
Is that John Wayne Gacy's nickname?
I have no idea who this person is. Marvin Webster?
I have to look this up.
Marvin Webster.
I don't know what sport he plays.
That famous serial killer, maybe.
Yeah, he's on a sports nickname list.
Oh no, that's O.J. Simpson.
I guess he's a basketball player in like the 70s. Jesus.
God, that.
So you didn't know that one. I finally stumped Nick.
The human eraser is one you could have called O.J.
Well, the voice you're hearing right now, of course, is Mr. Matt. He hate me, Dykes.
Ooh.
I don't hate you that much.
I know exactly who this is.
It's a popular XFL player.
What the fuck is XFL?
It was an extreme football league created by I can't remember his name, but the guy who runs the WWE. He was the owner of the WWE.
What?
Oh, what the hell is his
Vince
name?
McMahon.
Yes.
Yes.
And it actually did some interesting stuff. They you don't watch American football, and I don't really either, but there's a thing that basically the camera that goes along the middle of the field and like the behind the quarterback and all the different camera angles that the NFL uses now are all ripped off from the XFL.
So
because they shot it better, so it looked more like
Yes.
intense.
So like what? They get the ball to one end, and then they'd have to pin a guy down, and the referee would appear and go 1, 2, 3.
Suplex.
That's how they go.
No, they really just kind of lessened the holding rules and then shot it at a different angle and said it's extreme now.
And then the NFL was like, this isn't a bad idea, and then the XFL went out of business. So.
When did the XFL come out? I'm trying to like.
That's like early 2000s.
That would explain why it's XFL, because it's around the time where there was a lot of things coming out that had the letter X in because it sold well to the kids apparently.
Oh yeah, like Existence. That was a big hit with the kids.
I just remember there was like an X-Men style TV series that was like an X-Men ripoff called Mutant X.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Oh yeah. Or did you ever see the movie Sixth Day, Matt?
Yes.
The Arnold movie? Yeah, they play XFL in Sixth Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they're playing in the beginning there, because they really got in on it and thought the XFL was here to stay. Nope.
Speaking of clones.
There we go. Bot seeks bot.
Yep.
Nick, you're going to have fun trimming down that intro, aren't you? That was a good one.
I'll leave it all in.
So, people tuning in for Venture Brothers really want to hear about the XFL.
All the listeners there going, just talk about the fucking Venture Brothers already.
Which is how I felt about this episode.
I actually really like this episode.
Yeah, I do too.
Matt, it's your turn to say everything that happens in it. If you can do it very quickly so we can dive into this.
Okie dokie.
Very interesting episode.
Right, so it's kind of a follow-on episode from OSI Love You. So the OSI has been spying on the funeral of the one councilman who was identified by Monstroso. Fuck, I was completely blanked on his name then. I was like, big guy, fat guy. And I was like, in my head it was like, wide whale. No.
Yep.
Random chance?
Fucking idiot. So they're spying on the funeral of the Clue Clown, who was the councilman identified by Monstroso in OSI I Love You. And they are taking photos of all the people who are attending to try and identify who the any other members of the council. And they deduce that there is a one of the people there is a councilman number 1, I think he is, and they find out that he is a robot called Vendetta. So they set up a sting using Ghost Robot to go on a date with Vendetta to try and lure out the rest of the council, and end up in a nightclub where Rusty shows up because he thinks that Brok and Shawleave are going off to a party somewhere, and is not. He's just basically wanting to gate crash the party, and then ends up getting caught and stuck on a big spinning wheel where they get to decide how they're going to torture him to death. And just as they're about to dip him in acid, the Monarch shows up and like basically ends the party and he's about to take Venture for himself, and the giant disco ball lands on Dr. Venture, seemingly killing him.
Seemingly so.
Yeah. That was fucking awful.
That was about as long as the episode.
That was awful. It was like
Again, Nick,
it was like having
fun cutting that down.
Yeah, it was like having the episode described to you by I can't think of like a really boring voice person. It was like having the episode described to you by fucking St. Cloud.
There we go. Who also makes an appearance in this episode?
Yes, and gets shit on, and I love it so much.
Oh, yeah, so good.
How can they get to go in?
So where I'd like to start with this episode is with that whole, is this just basically a sequel to OS I Love You?
Yes.
I think so. I think it's maybe not a direct sequel, but definitely a continuation of that story arc.
And for that, it kind of makes me go back to the old... Did they just want to make kind of a G.I. Joe-esque show with OSI? Is this just scratching that itch that they kind of had?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because it is very
what I mean?
OSI-centric again, like OSI Love You.
Again, yeah.
But they just... Did Dean and Hank and Dean even show up in this episode? I don't remember them ever actually showing up in this episode.
No.
I don't think so. And if it is, it's brief. It might be for like a line,
Yeah.
but I don't think they show up at all. It's mostly just OSI and then Rusty being Rusty.
Yeah.
Which I'm sort of fine with, because the long and short of it is, like, these OSI episodes I enjoy. I think they're fun, and they don't really add a lot to the overall Venture Brothers feel for me, but it's kind of a nice break. And it's kind of that whole, we've been talking about, you could see they're a little tired of the compound, and doing these OSI episodes breaks them out, and they get to stretch some creative muscles. And because of that, we get things like Ghost Robot trying to be somebody he's not, and it's adorable and terrible.
And it's almost like it's setting stuff up as well that we end up with all this in Gargantua 2 as well. It's that continuing story thread of laying the groundwork for what that becomes.
Yeah, which is essentially the finale to all compound stuff.
Yeah.
Not every, but most storylines up to that point get answered in that episode, which is 2 away from here. But all in all, I like this episode. I think it's a good one. I think it's funny. I love the opening, everything in the funeral. Like, whenever there's a grave site in this show, it's usually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I think all of it just kind of worked. But Nick, I think you're a little bit colder on it.
I think my only problem with this episode is that I understand what they're trying to do at the end. I just feel like this episode would be stronger without Rusty and Billy. Because I feel like it takes away from what the mystery is for the OSI. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that it was more about them figuring it out than it is about kind of like all of these things kind of converging onto one event.
But just a counterpoint, how often do you think Brok thinks, man, this would be better if Rusty wasn't here? Isn't that just kind of the show?
Yes, but in this case, I really feel like it would have been just a stronger episode. Because I think the problem is that he comes in real late, and it's around the time that the episode feels like it's ramping up, and then it dips, and then it comes back up. But the reason why Rusty's there is to kind of like segment certain bits, right? So he's there as a plot device to basically make it so that they can't leave the van. What's his name? It's not Deadshot. Headshot. Headshot and John Hodgman. Make it so that they can't leave the van, and so that there's a reason that like the rest of the OSI crew can't leave the club. And it feels like he is kind of a plot device. He does kind of get introduced late. Like there's just it doesn't quite gel with me as that. So I feel like if they had gotten rid of him, then the episode would have been more about the OSI part, which I feel like is the most interesting thing. It's a very lore-heavy episode that's very active, which I feel like is a new step kind of for them.
It's also like, it's almost his part is literally to set up the next episode as well. Why is he being captured by the Monarch?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is kind of like, it does... Rusty's basically there to set up other stuff, so I think it is kind of true what you're saying. It would have been a stronger episode, but it would have been a standalone episode, which I think at this point in the season they didn't have time for.
You're right.
So it does kind of have a necessity to get some other stuff done, and I think that's fine. Like, I personally, it doesn't really bother me that much because everything else is so strong that Rusty showing up, and especially showing up with Billy, who just always in the wrong place at the wrong time, just kind of, I'm sort of okay with it because they do still entertain me. And we haven't even mentioned the fact that Brick Frog just walks by a few times, you know.
It's true.
So all of that makes everything okay.
What I love about Rusty and Billy showing up is you think the guard is buying the act that he's a ventriloquist dummy and everything like that. And I remember the first time I watched it, seeing that bit and just thinking, oh, come on. Surely you're not that stupid. And then he just goes straight to his boss and is like, oh, yeah, by the way, Dr. Venture showed up with a midget trying to pretend to be a ventriloquist.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yes, they are smart.
It's so good. Like, fucking Rusty. Like, of course Rusty thinks he can get away with it.
Of course.
It's like Billy that thinks that he can get away with it as well.
Well, he just gets drunk off Rusty's confidence.
Yeah.
The one thing that I always kind of doesn't rub me the wrong way, but always kind of makes me go, huh? In this episode is that OSI is willing to send in a civilian.
Yeah.
I mean, he's technically not a full civilian, but I do get what you mean because he's a superhero in his own right. He's Ghost Robot.
Sure,
he's part of the Action News team group.
Yes. However, in OSI's terms, he is a civilian because that's how they refer to him many times.
Yeah,
but then again,
Brok does have
this.
that line. Yeah, Brok does also have that line that I don't feel comfortable using a civilian or something like that. I wish we didn't have to use a civilian for this.
Yeah,
but there is precedence for this because there's the whole bit with Billy.
Oh, I guess that's true. I guess they do this. OSI is not the good guy. I always kind of need to remind myself they're not good guys; they're protagonists.
Yes.
Yeah, arguably kind of bad guys.
Yeah, they'll do what's necessary for the greater good.
Yeah.
Their version of the greater good.
There you go. Which might not be good at all. They're also kind of bad guys.
There's not really a good guy in this whole series, really.
Possibly Scare Bear. We don't know yet. The verdict is still out. He did save Hank from hypothermia.
Yes.
Yeah. But it didn't take him straight to the hospital.
No, I took him to his brother.
Yeah, tortured him. Basically said, look at what your brother's doing.
Maybe, or maybe he didn't know what his brother's doing. We'll get to that in season 7. We have time.
Moving.
What do you guys think of the Monarch showing up? Because we actually haven't seen the Monarch in a while.
I loved his intro.
Yes.
And it was... I remember the first time seeing it not really fully... Like, when you see the squid guy on the phone to someone, And I remember just sort of thinking, oh, who's he on the phone to? Like, it's obvious now that you know that it's the Monarch, but then I remember at the time, like, seeing it the first time, going, who the hell's he on the phone to? And then when the Monarch shows up, I'm like, oh, yes. And it's just like...
the way he shows up is so good. What the hell is going on?
What the fuck is going on? It's
yeah.
like, I remember, because I was watching this one on a download as well, because I usually have the Blu-ray, but I had to watch it on my phone. And it's all bleeped out. I was like, I love the way he says the what the fuck. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he is pretty fantastic at saying fuck.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I love his intro. I love them trying to, like, counterpoint him with, like, well, actually, in a team up, we don't have to, and, like, just all, like, the bureaucratic bullshit that they try to spout back and forth about why they're able to kill Rusty, and then eventually he wins.
Dr. Mrs. the Monarch is like, apart from this. And that's the best thing about it as well. He's just stood there going, honey.
Will you please win this fight for me? And then she does. And then she joins the Council of 13, essentially because of that. Like, it just all works so incredibly well. But the downside to it, and as great as it is it does kind of lead into that problem of, if you don't like Rusty in this episode, we miss out on all of this.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think Rusty being in the episode, it possibly could have been better without him in there, but it adds a level of tension that actually continues the story, because it would have been really boring if the episode had just ended with Brok going, right, can we get the fuck out of here now? And then, like, them just leaving. Yeah, you'd had that sort of, like, that extra level of tension of, well, they can't go yet. It can't be that easy for them to just leave.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it all would have shaken out had he not been there, but it's like, I don't mind him being there. Like, it doesn't... I see what Nick's saying. It would have been a stronger standalone episode, but then we do miss out on some stuff, and like I said, it ultimately doesn't bother me that much. Maybe just because that's me, but I don't remember where I was going. I had a thing.
It's fine. I do that all the time.
Does it ever come up again that Shore Leave is the one who almost killed Rusty?
Yeah, I remember sort of like, every time I watch this episode, I'm thinking, what the fuck is Shore Leave actually planning on doing with that? Is he just going to drop the disco ball onto everybody?
Oh, I have no idea.
Right?
But then he doesn't cut it all the way through, because he's the one who, like, he cuts it so far and has that amazing line of, like, I'm not used to this much girth.
God, that's such a good line. Hey.
But yeah, what was his fucking plan?
No idea.
I have no
I
idea.
do take it, to be fair, as him just panicking. Like, the whole episode, he doesn't really feel like traditional Shore Leave, who's a little bit more, like, in charge of things. It feels like the whole mission is very, like, slapdash, where it's like...
Yeah.
Like, for example, the whole point was for them to go to what was essentially P.F. Chang's, and go just, like, listen to their conversation, but then Ghost Robot just decides to go improv and go... It's like the whole thing is just like, uh-oh, and things start going downhill. But this is exactly where I feel like you should cut Rusty and devote more time to them panicking, because then it feels like it makes a little bit more sense. But I understand.
I totally see what you're saying, because that would be a very good episode, and it's just kind of a shame this one has to do the double duty. But I do like them panicking, especially because the way Ghost Robot does it. Just full disclosure, I don't eat food. I do, however, nothing this place can give me.
I love that conversation, because it was just like, wow, they both
go
stink
somewhere
at
else.
this.
I love the thumbs up and the wink he does as well. Is the light in his eye goes off and back on.
Oh yeah,
like, just through the through the window of the van. Like, kills me every time. And the fact that he's still trying to get used to, like, he's got those. Does Ghost Robot not have actual? No, he doesn't. Does he? Has the weird claw thing. So he's now got actual fingers. So he's still trying to figure out the fact that he's got fingers and everything.
Yeah, he's just getting used to hands.
Yeah.
Fucking great. Oh boy. Brok was very kind this week with his notes to write down some of the patrons that he thought was funny that showed up that I feel like we should mention. You got the Franklin Delano Disco. You have Brick Frog, of course. Hate Bit, which I love. And then my favorite, which is Sensational, who has all of his planet-themed henchmen, which is just fucking hysterical as they just walk through the bar together. And then, of course, Joseph in his amazing Technicolor nightmare coat, who I still don't think has had a line yet.
No, we've heard him referenced in the past, and I think this is the first time we see him.
That could be. I don't think he ever really gets a line. Like, he's not really that sort of character, but I do like that he just pops up every now and then.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just because his name is so fantastically ridiculous.
It's just the way that the first time it's said as well. In the first episode, you hear Joseph and his Technicolor nightmare coat. But there's other things.
I'd love to see an episode with him.
There's other things that Brok's mentioned as well. Like in Brok's locker, when he's getting the costumes, you can briefly see a canoe hanging from the ceiling, which is the canoe that he earned with the Marlboro Mile points.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It mentioned to Hank during Pomp and Circuitry. I just love that little thing. I've never even noticed it before. Can we talk just a minute? Can we take a minute just to talk about the nightclub itself and the design of that nightclub? Because I think it's fucking amazing. It is so really cool. It's like one of the most, it's like it's supposed to be hell, and my god, it just the decor in it is just gorgeous. It just the design and everything like that. I think it's amazing. It's probably one of my favorite sets. I know it's not an actual thing, but like one of my favorite sets of the whole season. I just think it looks so good.
I mean, it looks great. I've never really paid that much attention to it beyond just the side characters. I'd have to go back through it and see all of it.
Honestly, I just turned the page in the book and it's got a lot of pictures of the nightclub itself, and I'm just looking at it in awe of it. Like, you got the DJ system set up like above the bar, and then like the big ass disco ball, but just everything in there is just, it's designed to be like hell. Candles like in candlesticks and just there's like a big piece of artwork which is, it's like burning skeletons and death and all sorts just above the DJ thing. It just it's so intricate, and you don't really see half as much of it in the episode. It's like when you looking at the photos itself.
I mean, speaking from film experience, that's pretty true of every set known to man.
Yeah, but this is like an animated one where they have to, they don't have to build it or anything like that. Because I mean, it's still, but the concept still plays, where you make the best looking room you possibly can, and then you see what you see of it. Yeah, that's true.
But if you don't put that time and effort into it, then you don't have what is arguably one of the best shows ever made. So
true.
I think that you are noticing something that they really wish more people would notice.
Yeah.
Which is how much detail they put in that location. Because I definitely missed it, and I'll need to go back through the book and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like literally a full page, and it's like 5 photos of like the different angles of the thing. It just looks amazing.
Yeah, they definitely are good on their details.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do want to mention in this that I haven't, because I keep forgetting, I love the callback to what is it? The buddy system with the suit that they still have.
Yes.
And Rusty just found out they still have it. Wait, you were supposed to return that years ago. And just Brok's response of I gotta go. They close in 10 minutes. I don't want to get charged for another day.
Well, do you know that the fruit bat suit as well? That's another callback to the episode.
Well, they blatantly talk about that one, right?
Yeah, but that's one of the guys. That's the guy who shows up when the general is visiting, and then Brok's dressed up as the customer.
Yes, it's the Fruitopia.
And he goes,
yes.
Oh, Spanakopita.
But yeah, I do like that. I like the callback. I also like that the reason why they even know that it is a callback is because one of the friends of the guy has he's been missing for years and you're not him.
Do you know what? I need to go back and rewatch the bit in Brok's garage though, because I bet there's a load of little Easter eggs in that thing of callbacks to previous henchmen that he's killed and things like that, and just stuff like that.
So this brings up a question: is Brok keeping these as weird mementos?
That's what I was just gonna say. Is Brok a trophy keeper? That kind of wouldn't surprise me. I guess.
Yeah, Brok's definitely a trophy killer.
Oof.
Maybe he's a process killer as well, because he does like to kill. He's both.
Yeah, that could be. That makes sense. I think that's pretty much everything in this thing, right?
Yeah, maybe. There's the council members as well. When they're going,
you know what?
When they're going down to the club, they're just like that whole conversation where they're talking about when they used to race them and the race cars and everything like that. And then, is it Dragoon or Red Man? No, it's Red Mantle who starts talking about. Oh yes, the man with the mustache and his dog, and then it just goes to Dragoon, who just goes, "That was the wacky races, you senile old fool," and then it just cuts back to Red Mantle and goes, "Well, they were quite wacky, yes."
Fucking love Red Mantle. That's actually the one thing I forgot I wanted to bring up. My favorite Red Mantle moment of beyond the teenagers are undoubtedly cruel and they'll taunt us because our trousers are no longer in style. My other favorite Red Mantle moment is in this, when the Clue Clown comes bursting out of his coffin, and just everything he says after that was so great. Like it's the punchline to the joke, and just you hear in the background, "Too soon." Yeah. It's like, well, he always did say he'd have the last laugh. He was wrong.
He was wrong. I just love they they're dressed as a woman as well.
Oh yeah.
Why?
It looks good on. They wear it well.
I think so. I had a long thought about that because I was like, I think that what it is that he's normally dressed in that like big red robe, and I think that that's just a black version of it with a veil.
Yeah, actually, that makes sense.
And I think that it does seem
that makes sense.
Like it's like a dress, but I think it's just the red robe, or it's a black version of the red robe. I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to move into favorite characters. You guys? Yeah. All right, so let's do it. Favorite characters. We just mentioned mine. We're just talking about them. I gotta go Red Mantle. Like every time, Red Mantle and Dragoon. They whenever they show up, they crack me up. And just because of the too soon and the he was wrong, they win the whole episode for me.
Yeah. For me, it's Ghost Robot. Everything that he does is just so good. It's like, we've got this really intricate plan. You keep him in the restaurant, keep him talking, everything like that. And immediately it's like, let's go. Yeah, let's go somewhere else. And then it's like, it just like the cockiness and the like, they think, oh yeah, I'm doing a really good job here. Thumbs up, guys. Hey, wink, wink.
He tries. You got to give him effort.
He does his best.
And it's the way he talks as well. I just love the way that he talks. Just that voice just gets me all the time. Especially in like the first episode you meet him, like, I too know that oh god, yeah. It makes me
so good. Nick, what about you?
I will never not mention this character whenever they're in an episode, no matter how little, but it's Dr. Henry Killinger. We didn't talk about this part because it's kind of inconsequential, but yeah, easily my favorite.
It makes no sense in this episode whatsoever, but that's kind of the point.
I think it's just to be like, they're still here, and then continue. But Dr. Henry Killinger.
Don't forget about these guys. They'll be important soon. Just remember that they're here. Okay, great. So let's do a quick round of plugs. Be sure to listen to After the Hype, Samwise, Demon Days, and Damage Boost. And be sure to check out our website for everything and more. That's athpod.com. Play the video games that Nick works on, even though you don't know what they are. And Matt, anything to plug?
Latest article that came out should be the Marvel vs. Sony one that I did.
Cool.
Called it Corporate Wars. Just, the name came to me.
Corporate Wars, where everyone loses?
Yeah, pretty much. That could be a good
Everyone loses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite I just got fed up of seeing a lot of people like shitting on Sony when it's not actually Sony's fault, the whole situation. So I just decided to flip it round and be like, actually, look at it from Sony's perspective.
A, look at it from Sony's perspective. B, remember, it's Disney.
Yeah.
They're probably the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because they always are.
Yep. So yeah, I've just been.
Until
That's like a massive steaming turd on Disney, basically.
Oh, Disney. I'm so annoyed that I still keep paying for everything you make. Oh, well. All right, so thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Please tune in next week where we talk about the Season 5 finale-ish, if you don't count All This and Gargantua 2, which Hulu does not for some reason. That's everything. Bye.
Doodle. Bye. Bye.